It would be an understatement to say we've had better baseball days in Chicago. It has been raining for the better part of the afternoon on the north side of the city. Monsoon for much of the afternoon at Wrigley Field, but nice and toasty, warm and dry in the Captain Morgan Club, one of the new amenities at Wrigley Field this year on the corner of Sheffield and Addison on the south side of the ballpark. Everybody in there enjoying the nice conditions as people outside in the ballpark are just trying to stay dry. We hope to have some baseball for you tonight, and if we do, you'll see it all right here on WGN. And good evening from Wrigley Field. Dan Roan up in the broadcast booth. Normally, we do these leadoff man shows from down on the field, but Len and Bob and everybody else were nice enough to allow me the use of the booth, and I appreciate it very much. It has been a very wet afternoon across the city, but the officials, Cubs officials and umpires are scheduled to meet in about 15 minutes or so. They will decide then when this game will start. I don't think there's much question that there will be baseball tonight. The question is exactly when, and we'll let you know that as soon as we find out. Well, the Cubs come into this game on a high note. There haven't been a whole lot of those lately, but there was one on Sunday, and Ryan Theriot provided it with a ninth inning base hit to right that scored Derek Lee from third with the winning run as the Cubs salvaged the third and final game against the Minnesota Twins. A big win it was for the Cubs. They had a day off to think about that one yesterday. And as the action begins tonight, they find themselves in third place at the dead break-even mark, 30-30, but just 3 games behind first place Milwaukee, with the Cardinals stuck in there in between. So not terrible position, especially the way the Cubs have been hitting the baseball. If that turns around soon, a move up would certainly be expected. As for the White Sox, they come in off a very nice weekend up in Milwaukee. A.J. Pierzynski with a late inning RBI that gave the Sox a victory on Sunday and gave them 2 out of 3 for the weekend at Miller Park. Nice series for them. And as the action begins tonight, here's where they stand in the American League Central. The Tigers on top, the Twins 3 games behind, and the White Sox 4 games under 500, but only 4.5 behind first place in the Central. So both these teams have a lot to play for here this week in the Crosstown Classic. It should be a lot of fun, as it always is. Lou Piniella will have a new bat to call upon tonight. Jake Fox has been recalled from AAA Iowa, and Jason Waddell, the Cubs left-handed pitcher, has been put on the disabled list. So Jake Fox in uniform and will play tonight for the Cubs, and Lou Piniella, like everybody else, looking forward to meeting the White Sox here at Wrigley Field.
We got Fox back here. Gives us a right-hand bat coming off the bench. And I think Waddell was put on the disabled list.
Do you use Fox the same way as the first time?
I think so. We could use him in the outfield if need be, too.
Lou, how do you look at playing the White Sox at this time of the season, just considering nothing?
How?
Yeah, how do you
They're an American League opponent. They're our crosstown rivals, and we'd like to play well against them and beat them. It'll be a fun series for the fans, and both teams could use a good series. So hopefully the Cubs will come out on top.
With Vaughn coming aboard today, I mean, what are you looking for there for him to kind of...
Well, you know, he knows a lot of our young kids. We've got quite a few of them here. We just got one more today in Fox. So, maybe a different approach. You know, he's been looking at a lot of film, and he's got some work to do, and hopefully, you know, he'll get these guys going in the right direction.
Do you think a move like that could kind of serve, just the move itself could serve as a wake-up call to some guys?
I don't know. Look, you never like to see any of your coaches let go, but at the same time, it happens. So let's hope that you know, that he can help a few of these hitters and get them going. That's really what we need here, is to get our offense going.
Lou, since you've been doing hitting,
New batting coach Von Joshua in the ballpark and already hard at work with these Cubs hitters, trying to help them get straightened out as we begin the Crosstown Classic here in 2009. Cubs and White Sox tonight on WGN. Much more ahead on the leadoff man. We'll hear from Ozzie Guillen momentarily and bring in Len and Bob too. So stay with us. Leadoff man continues right after this.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. Always a home run with America's best warranty. And now, Hyundai Assurance.
Guys paying booking fees on his flight? I'm on it. Let's go, Nofi. So, I see you're paying booking fees on that published price flight.
Yeah, it's no big deal. What are you doing?
It's no big deal, right? Nofi doesn't like it when people pay booking fees. Makes him angry.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Priceline. Hey, no booking fees.
You've made Nofi very happy.
No booking fees on published price flights at Priceline.
What do we know?
38-year-old Caucasian male. This is the wife. She called it in. Doesn't sound good.
Thank goodness you're here. 1 minute he's fine, and then this.
What is it?
It's brain lock. What was he doing right before he froze?
He was trying to remember who played first base for the Red Sox in '86. It was like right on the tip of his tongue.
Bill Buckner. There you go, sir.
Right through his legs.
Right through his legs. And if it happens again, just text us at 542-542.
It's a miracle.
No, ma'am. It's KGB.
Text your question to 542-542.
It's the 5-minute challenge. Trigger spray versus Roundup Pump and Go sprayer. With up to 5 minutes of continuous spray, Pump and Go kills weeds, not your hands. Roundup Pump and Go. Hard on weeds, easy on you.
You can buff up, clean up, but you can't cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing, 85% of men regrew hair. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it.
Big Mac, you so want one.
Deep to center field. Anderson's back. Warning track. Ball game over. Cubs win. Ramirez into center. They win it 4-3.
Cub fans are loving that. Aramis Ramirez, the walk-off homer in 2008 against the White Sox. Unfortunately for the Cubs tonight, he will not be in uniform, still on the DL with that separated shoulder. And Ozzie Guillen missing a big bat as well. Carlos Quinton has been on the DL with a bad foot, and he is sorely missed in the White Sox lineup, although they've been a pretty good hitting team on the road this season. And, of course, that's where they are tonight here at Wrigley Field for Game 1 of the Crosstown Classic. Before the game, Ozzie met with the media, and as always, he reiterated that he loves the Cubs. He loves the people that work here, has good friends in the front office and on the field, but he hates the ballpark.
Welcome back to Wrigley.
Yeah. I guess.
Nothing. So did you puke yet, or is that later?
I want to. I don't find a place to do it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just it's a bad thing about it. I think God punishing me. I should be punishing to have a rain delay in this crap.
I guess the any rats? Yeah.
No, the rats, I don't see anyone because I'm not looking for them. That's why all the way down there in the outfield. I don't want to come to this place. If I have to, but just play one game. Let's play 3 games tonight and get out of here, please. Well, you look at them. Look at this place. Look at, we be 10 miles from here. We be nice, real dry in the room, relax. And here, looking, all you guys getting wet. I mean, it's not a fun place to be. But I don't make that decision. That decision will be made by the Cubs and Major League Baseball, how we're going to handle it. And I go for it, you know what I mean? I told my wife to show up. I told Ozzy don't show up because they know him and they're going to boo him too. I told my wife, you're going to be a rain delay. This is not a place to be a rain delay. It's not. It's funny about it because what I say, all you guys feel the same way and you not say it. Why? Ask Lou how many times he like to come here and do this.
The fans can go to the bars.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to sit down in the closet. We don't have a closet. We have a closet upstairs. If somebody had to use the bathroom during the game, we got to take a taxi all the way up there. You know what I mean? If we want to hit, we got to go to the Rats. You know what I mean? Listen, I want to make this clear. I don't talk about the people living the building. I talk about the building. People in this building treat me unbelievable great. Everyone. But it's not fun to come here. It's not. We're spoiled in another side. We are. We're really spoiled. You guys too. You guys spoil us.
All right. Thanks.
Well, for you fans who've ever taken the Wrigley Field tour and seen the visitors clubhouse, you know what Ozzy's talking about. He might be a little bit more delicate in his comments, but he's pretty much right on. It is not nice up there, and a rain delay would certainly make it even worse for the White Sox. As we wait for baseball here today, we hope to have it, and here to set up the game tonight, Len and Bob. Take it away, guys.
All right, Dan, thanks very much. By the way, I can have a talk with Ozzy. I know Ozzy pretty well. Maybe he'll cut out the comments a little bit. I understand his point about the visiting clubhouse. It's a small place there, but you don't want the visiting team to like coming here, right?
No, you don't want them to be comfortable in your ballpark. And it is what it is, to use an overworked baseball cliche, but it is Wrigley Field. And once you come up that tunnel and come out of the dugout onto the field, there's no place quite like Wrigley.
It's funny because everyone waits to hear what Lou has to say, and someone asked him today about, are you showing enough fire? He said, I'm not a dragon, which was a pretty good line. But whenever Ozzy comes here, he normally overshadows Lou in terms of the pregame comments.
Well, Ozzy, there's always a method to his madness. You may think he's just shooting off his mouth and talking off the top of his head, but usually there's a reason for it. Usually he thinks a little bit about the things he's going to say, and there's no denying he's one of the most entertaining managers in all of baseball.
There's no question, Bob, as well, that both managers, when you look at the comparisons right now, they both would like to see their teams play better fundamental baseball, particularly offensively.
And, speaking to the Cubs case, that's been a continuing problem. Even last year when they were leading the league in every offensive category and running away with the National League Central, there were still those occasions where one good fundamental execution would win you another ball game. They weren't able to do it last year. They haven't been able to do it this year, and that's an ongoing problem.
All right, I don't know where Dan went. He was sitting right here leading to Ozzie Guillen, but I know he's got a microphone. So, Dan, take it away.
All right, boys. Thank you very much. And as we go to break, let's take a look at today's Hyundai dealer of the game, Gartner Hyundai in Aurora, Illinois. And we're back with more on the leadoff man from Wrigley Field right here on WGN.
That's one monster case of athlete's foot. Hit that with Tough Actin Tenactin. It gets rid of your athlete's foot.
And now try Tenactin Chill. Cools the burn, relieves the itch of athlete's foot. Get Tough Actin Tenactin.
Scott, I want you to do something.
I'm not rubbing you with that chamois again.
We both enjoyed that. Now I want you to introduce my greatest creation, the new Toasty Torpedo.
The new Toasty Torpedo?
Yes, Scott. You make one.
Me?
I'm waiting for it, Scott. It's over a foot of Quiznos flavor on Slim Sleek Ciabatta for only $4. Say it, Scott.
Only $4?
Say it with passion.
Only $4?
More passion.
Only $4.
Quiznos. Toasty.
More cash over here. It's much easier to find money at Esurance. Great auto insurance rates and lots of discounts.
Got insurance already? Save more with Esurance's Switch and Save discount.
It also pays to shop online. You get Esurance's Fast 5 discount just for getting an instant online quote.
Thanks, Professor.
Don't forget the good student discount.
And there's even more discounts.
It's no secret that you can save hundreds with Esurance.
Make it your mission to click or call Esurance today.
America has some amazing dives, and we're going to take off in the plane, check out a bunch of them. The places, the vibe, the food. Join us, the crew of Skydives, as we fly into the heart of America to see and taste the country's most amazing food. If you have a favorite food joint, cool. Log in to WGNAmerica.com. Tell us about it.
Coming June 30th on Blu-ray and DVD.
This one's called 12 Rounds.
Starring John Cena. For your chance to win an exclusive 12 rounds prize pack, make sure to watch WWE Superstars only on WGN America every Thursday.
WWE Superstars.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. That is the code in which I live by.
John Cena on WWE Superstars. Expect everything.
To win everything for the city of Chicago, you know. And sometimes I get in trouble with the things that I say, you know. But I mean, believe me, this is the thing that I feel, you know. I always like to say the truth, you know. And the truth is, after this contract, you know, I will hang the glove, you know. And that's what I feel, you know. I feel that. For me, I like to see my daughters grow up. I like to see, you know, things in my family run, you know, pretty good. But before that, you know, let's talk about baseball. Let's talk in the next 4 or 5 years. Let's talk about, you know, doing my job in the field. And I don't want to talk more about, you know, retirement. You know, that would be in 4 years or 5 years.
Carlos Zambrano created quite a stir with those comments earlier this month. Since then, he has not pitched at all like a guy who even knows how to spell the word retirement. 1-0 record, which probably should be better, but a 0.86 ERA in 21 innings. He has been spectacular on the mound. 164 opponent's batting average. So that's who's in the zone. Brought to you by the Auto Zone. Get in the zone. Auto Zone. Dan Roan back at Wrigley Field as the rain continues to fall here on the north side of Chicago, but ever so lightly at this point. The meeting is being held just about at this time as to when this game might start tonight. And for more on how the weather stacks up for the rest of the evening, let's head back to the WGN studios and Jim Ramsey.
Thank you, Dan. You know, as late as 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we thought there was a good chance the Cubs game could start without any problems. But about that time, the rain began to develop. And to give you an idea how slowly this is moving, this is actually a 3-hour animation. As you can see, it tracking through parts of Will and Kankakee counties. Even though it is light for the moment at Wrigley Field, there will be additional periods of moderate, perhaps even heavy rainfall. And in that vein, the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for south central Cook County, northwestern Kankakee, and Will County. Now, Will County, at least the western part of it, has already received as much as 3 inches of rain, and it's expected that an additional inch or 2 may fall in that area. That, of course, not affecting the ballpark, but because this is the source region for the rain that's overspreading the ballpark, we're keeping a close watch on this. But as for when it will end, well, we've got at least another hour of rainfall yet to go. Now, the good news is there does not appear to be any significant development on the west or southwest side of this rain shield over the Chicago area. So once it finally stops, that should be the end of it. However, even that is a little uncertain because this is being caused by a frontal boundary, a warm front that's tracking north through Illinois. And just because this storm was one of the byproducts of the approach of that front, it is possible another storm or 2 could develop. However, at the moment, it doesn't appear there's any evidence that that's happening. We are also looking at very uncomfortable temperatures across the region. Believe it or not, temperatures where you are, Dan, is just 59 degrees. It's a tiny bit warmer as you move farther inland. Say at O'Hare, it's only about 64 degrees, but it promises to be a chilly night thanks in part to the lake breeze. Lake breeze coupled with steady rain are making for a pretty uncomfortable night at Wrigley Field. But cross your fingers, if we maybe get a little help from Mother Nature, we can see this rain finally push out of the area in maybe an hour to 90 minutes. Back to you at the field, Dan.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. As you can see, a few fans have made their way into the seating area here at Wrigley Field. That little girl certainly bundled up against the weather, but hopefully she can pull that umbrella down and take the poncho off, and maybe in an hour or so we'll have some baseball for you. The Cubs and the White Sox, game one of the Crosstown Classic here in 2009. Earlier this afternoon, I had a chance to talk to Cubs shortstop Ryan Theriot. We talked a little bit about the Cubs' recent offensive woes, about their big victory on Sunday against the Minnesota Twins, about playing the White Sox, and about the rain. Well, I know this isn't the way you wanted to start this series with all this kind of stuff going on.
What's that, the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I meant?
I don't know. It's nothing different, though, man. We're going to, we always seem to find a way to get it in, and we'll be out here working, I'm sure, to play it. Makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to have some of the elements to deal with.
Well, at least the run-up is a little better than it could have been. You guys had a nice win there, the late inning win on Sunday, and a day off to think about it.
Yeah, we hopefully getting back on the right foot. Start to swing the bats a little bit better, and we got great pitching, as we have been, and as always, yeah. So just a few more runs, and I think we'd be in good shape.
These things can turn around as quickly as they go bad. I think everybody knows that, and that's always something to keep in the back of your head.
No doubt about it. The good news is our pitchers are really throwing the ball well. We've been playing good defense also. We're just 1 or 2 hits away, I think, from being in real good shape right now. I'd rather be hot at the end of the year than early anyway. So.
How was it for you guys to play the White Sox? I mean, everybody talks about it all year long. At least the fans do. But for the players, is it that big a deal?
I mean, it's always fun, but all the big rivalries, St. Louis, Milwaukee, they're always fun. You as a player, a competitor, you want to be in those situations and play in those games. And we're very fortunate to have 6 games out of the season that we can have that type of atmosphere.
I guess there are fewer fights in the stands in the Cardinals games than there are in the Cubs-Sox games.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. I hear the oohs and ahs quite a bit out there.
Okay, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, it may get a little rowdy here in the ballpark tonight. I don't know if even the rain that we've had can dampen down some of the enthusiasm that these fans have for the Crosstown Classic on both sides, too, the Cubs and the White Sox. So we expect to have a lot of fun out here at Wrigley Field eventually here tonight. We'll come back and wrap things up on the pregame show when we continue right after this.
The hot, the colder the cold, the greater the demand, the more you need Duralast. Batteries built to exceed the need. Batteries built to meet or exceed original equipment standards for cold cranking amps. Batteries built with the power to hold up to heavy electrical demands. Batteries so good they come with a coast-to-coast warranty. Only at AutoZone.
Big Mac, you so want one.
You give your sport 100%. So should your sunscreen. Coppertone Sport is 100% sunscreen. Neutrogena is 28% chemical propellant. Coppertone gives you better protective coverage. Waterproof, sweatproof. Coppertone Sport 100%.
Any given time, this music is playing in a woman's head. Ready? And when the smallest conversation can just go so south. It's like, Owen, are you hungry, Owen? I'm like, no. She's like, where did you eat? I'm like, I ate at Wendy's. She's like, Wendy's? Who the hell is Wendy? I'm like,
Hey, what's up? It's Rick Dees, and turn on your TV. Sundays to WGN America.
It's starting.
It's out of sight retro night.
Simple, uncluttered television with heart.
Sundays only on WGN America.
Well, we're back at Wrigley Field. The tarp, as you can see, is still on the field, and we haven't seen any signs of any ground crew personnel as of yet, but we certainly do expect that there will be baseball at some point in time this evening, and when it starts, you will see it all right here on WGN. The starting pitchers for the first game of the Crosstown Classic this year are as follows. For the White Sox, left-hander John Danks, 12 starts this year. He is 4-5, but he's lost his last 2 and has scuffled some in those games. 4.81 is the ERA. A little bit better numbers record-wise on the road, but the ERA a little bit higher. And for the Cubs, as we said, Carlos Zambrano gets the start, bouncing back from some injury issues this season, but 4-2 with a very respectable ERA. And his numbers at home, as you see, just about 500. He'll try to improve upon that here tonight at Wrigley Field. So that's the story. These two teams have played 66 interleague games over the years. Each team has won 33, so tonight's game will be the tiebreaker, and each team wants it badly, I'll guarantee you that. It should be a lot of fun once it gets started. The Cubs and the White Sox right here on WGN. That'll do it for the leadoff man. For all of us here, thanks for watching, and enjoy the game that comes your way next right here on WGN.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, and by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. Always a home run with America's best warranty, and now Hyundai Assurance.
It's right here. It's easy. It's the money you could be saving with Geico.
Boys, I need you to start clean up your... Oh.
The Brownie Batter Blizzard at Dairy Queen. Gooey brownie batter, moist brownie season.
Hey, guys, you want to go to DQ? I'll buy you both a Blizzard.
Okay.
Start the car.
This is the best idea you ever had.
Yeah, I recorded a cheeseburger one for Dad.
It'll get you every time. The DQ Brownie Batter Blizzard. And don't forget to bring home a cake for Dad this Father's Day.
It's the 5-minute challenge. Trigger spray versus Roundup Pump and Go sprayer. With up to 5 minutes of continuous spray, Pump and Go kills weeds, not your hands. Roundup Pump and Go. Hard on weeds, easy on you.
Painting will never be the same. Wagner brings you the only power painter with Optimus dual tip technology. With a more refined spray pattern here, Wagner's dual tip design delivers better paint coverage here, superior control here, and a beautiful finish here. All of which adds more to life out here. The new Optimus Power Painter with dual tip technology. Only from Wagner. The finish you want. The value you're looking for.
Me again.
Okay, now this is the last time, all right?
Thanks. You know, we don't deliver anything like this as crispy flatbread.
Introducing the taste that's never been delivered. DiGiorno Crispy Flatbread Pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
The following
is a presentation of WGN Sports.
It's gone! You can't put it on the board! Got him! Save! Unbelievable! Sox win! Cubs win! Doesn't necessarily look like baseball weather. That was a little bit earlier. One thing I learned early on in my life, don't stand too close to the curb on a rainy day as the cars come racing by. Pretty foggy. The temperatures are dropping a little bit, but you see the flags not moving, so it's calmed down here. And hopefully we'll have Cubs baseball coming up as they welcome in their rivals from the American League and the south side of town. The Cubs hosting the Chicago White Sox on WGN Sports. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. We have remained dry to this point, but just about everybody else in the ballpark is very wet.
Well, that's because it's raining, Len. But, you know, the Cub fans, as soon as the gates were open, the fans were scampering out to get their seats in the bleachers, and they're anxiously awaiting the beginning of this game.
These two teams have been going at it for a long time, but it started to count in 1997. The City Series being played in interleague play, and lo and behold, look how close it is.
You couldn't get much more even than this. Obviously, the wins are dead even. The runs scored nearly even. Batting average, home runs, ERA, right down the line, exactly what you would expect with each team winning 33 games.
You have a couple of teams struggling at times to score runs, getting some pretty decent pitching, especially the Cubs, who will have Carlos Zambrano tonight. And Bob, the last two times out, he has been as good as ever.
Oh, as good as ever is what Lou Piniella said, even better than the no-hitter last year at Miller Park. See what he did Wednesday against the Astros. In his last 14 2/3 innings, he's given up 5 hits and 1 earned run. He is throwing the ball as well as he ever has in his career.
Now for the White Sox, it'll be left-hander John Danks. Now he is trying to even his record at 5-5. He has lost his last 2, but a couple of big wins late in the year last year for the Sox.
Big winner late in the season last year. He's been a little inconsistent with his command this year, and his stuff is not the kind of stuff that he can afford to make mistakes in the strike zone.
Von Joshua will make his Cubs debut as their hitting coach tonight, replacing Gerald Perry. We both wanted a chance to maybe talk to Von a little bit, but he was in the batting cage early.
Imagine that, the batting coach for the Cubs down in the cage. But that's a very important step for Von. He's going to need to look at their swings. I know he's seen some videotape already. He knows some of the players from his work with them in the minor leagues, but he's going to try to get up to snuff as quickly as possible with how to correct some of the mistakes that he's seen in the swings of the Cubs hitters.
Okay, again, it's John Danks for the White Sox, Carlos Zambrano for the Cubs. We will have baseball tonight, and we will keep it right here for all the rain delay coverage. We'll keep you up to date on when this game will get going, and then eventually Game 1, White Sox and Cubs from Wrigley Field. Stay with us.
TV. Oh, a TV.
Hey, what's up? It's Rick Dees, and turn on your TV. No. Sundays to WGN America.
It's starting.
Because we brought back America's favorite show.
Simple, uncluttered television with heart.
We celebrate what makes classic TV classic.
If we're going to watch anything, it's got to be something that we agree on.
It's out of sight retro night.
The calls to the station have been fantastic.
Sundays at 5 East, 2 West, only on WGN America.
Man, love that drinkability.
Drink what?
Drinkability. It's what makes Bud Light so incredibly refreshing. It's like a wave of refreshment, gently washing over your whole body.
It's getting bigger.
Here comes the refreshment. That almost never happens.
Easy drinking, always refreshing. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability.
No hard feelings.
You give your sport 100%. So should your sunscreen. Coppertone Sport is 100% sunscreen. Neutrogena is 28% chemical propellant. Coppertone gives you better protective coverage. Waterproof, sweatproof. Coppertone Sport 100%.
Hi. I need to remove one of these thingies.
1/2-inch ratchet, 3/4 standard socket.
From one of these rascals.
3/4-inch deep well.
And I can't reach it.
12-inch extension.
Because this big old grizzly bear's in the way.
Universal joint.
My man.
The largest tool selection in America and the people who know them best. Get great savings on tools like this Craftsman 154-piece mechanics tool set. Sears, life well spent.
Scott, I want you to introduce my greatest creation, the new Toasty Torpedo. It's over a foot of Quiznos flavor on slim, sleek ciabatta for only $4.
Only $4?
Yes, Scott. I'm waiting for it.
Quiznos. Toasty.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV, your official summer baseball station. Brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Dodge dealers. To find the dealer nearest you, visit DodgeRockChicago.com. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world. Visit refresheverything.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Cub fans coming prepared, bringing the rain gear. It has been raining for quite some time. It actually started out as a nice day, but we thought we were going to see some rain tonight, and here it is, tarp on the field, and we will start under a rain delay. Cubs hosting the White Sox here on WGN. Well, let's set the records for you. The Cubs come in at 30-30, so they're at 500 for the 12th time already this season. Tied for third in the National League Central, 3 back. The White Sox, 4.5 out. They're in third in the American League Central. So a couple of teams who would like to play better, but thankfully for them, they're in the right division because nobody's running away with either Central Division.
I think the sentiment is the same on both sides of town. It could be a lot worse given the way these two ball clubs have played, but given the fact that both those divisions are just kind of sputtering along, nobody really willing to get out and take the lead in this race. So all things considered, you have to be pretty happy where the Cubs are right now.
And along those lines, and we'll probably talk more about some other teams the Cubs have to watch. Last night, the Brewers were down 12-7 in Cleveland, eventually 12-9, and Prince Fielder with a big game-winning grand slam. That was a big win for the Brewers.
It really was. That's the kind of win. We talk about momentum in the game of baseball is your next day's starting pitcher, but that's the kind of come-from-behind win with one of your superstars coming up big in a tough situation that tends to give you a little boost as you move forward in the schedule. And by the way, judging from the swings that Big Prince took in that ball game last night, it looks like he's about to get real hot.
What about the swings he took at Ryan Braun? Did you like that little celebration?
Well, there's a possibility for a knockout punch in that on-deck circle after those guys come back after scoring. So, maybe they'll help us out and knock each other out.
Speaking of benchmark wins, maybe the Cubs got theirs on Sunday as they won it in the bottom of the ninth. Derek Lee with the excellent first to third base running maneuver on a ground ball base hit to left, and then Ryan Theriot, who had a good day. We should mention Soto had that hit, 3 hits on the day, but Theriot coming up with the opposite field single to win it.
Hey, you'd like to think that a solid execution of a basic fundamental of the game might be enough to spark this team and get them going in the right direction, because there have been a lot of fundamental mistakes early in the season, but to see your veteran leader Derek Lee recognize the situation, know what he had to do. He knew where the defense was playing. He took a chance, went first to third, and that was the difference in the ball game. So hopefully his teammates were paying attention and will follow his lead.
Let's hear from the manager, Lou Piniella, as he met the media before the game. And the Cubs made a roster move today. Left-hander Jason Waddell placed on the 15-day disabled list for the treatment of a non-baseball related medical situation. And Jake Fox is back, so he'll be on the Cubs bench. And here's Lou talking about that move.
We got Fox back here. Gives us a right-hand bat coming off the bench. And I think Waddell was put on the disabled list.
You used Fox the same way as the first time?
I think so. We could use him in the outfield if need be, too.
Lou, how do you look at playing the White Sox at this time of the season, just considering nothing?
How?
Yeah, how do you
They're an American League opponent. They're our crosstown rivals, and we'd like to play well against them and beat them. It'll be a fun series for the fans, and both teams could use a good series. So hopefully the Cubs will come out on top.
With Vaughn coming aboard today, I mean, what are you looking for there for him to?
Well, you know, he knows a lot of our young kids. We've got quite a few of them here. We just got one more today in Fox. So, maybe a different approach. You know, he's been looking at a lot of film, and he's got some work to do, and hopefully, you know, he'll get these guys going in the right direction.
Do you think a move like that could kind of serve, just the move itself could serve as a wake-up call to some guys?
I don't know. Look, you never like to see any of your coaches let go, but at the same time, it happens. So let's hope that you know that he can help a few of these hitters and get them going. That's really what we need here, is to get our offense going.
Lou, since you've been doing hitting instructions since you were a player,
I don't have time as a manager. I just don't have time. I mean, just take a look at the room here. And the manager in today's game, it's very, very hard. You almost have to live here. So that's why you hire. We got 7 full-time coaches here. We got an administrative coach, we got a pitching coach, a bullpen coach, outfield coach, infield coach, hitting coach. You got all these coaches. You hire them, you let them do their jobs.
what I meant is, would you like to work with a specific player or two if you saw something?
I've talked to Vaughn, as I did talk to Gerald, about, you know, what I thought. And at times I've watched some film too. But these guys that are here because they're specialists in their field, and I've always adhered to the theory that you let them do their jobs. You let them do their jobs.
Lou, it's been suggested out there that you could be showing some more fire at this point.
What do I need to show fire for? I'm not a dragon. Look, if I was out there arguing all the time, what they'd be saying is, well, this guy's lost his cool. Look, I still want to win. I still have it in my belly. I think the players obviously know that. I got to let them play. I don't win baseball games. The players play on the field. And our job is to prepare them and keep them as motivated as possible, and they've got to do the job on the field. You know, I mean, I was reading where an article just a week ago about Phil Jackson and Joe Torre, how calm and cool they are and how successful they are. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Look, if I have something to beef out there with the umpires, I'll go out there and beef. And I will stand up for our players. But, I mean, what am I supposed to do? I don't think by me going out there and kicking dirt and doing those things is going to get anybody fired up to play baseball. You know? So, we'll let them play, and that's the end of it.
Who do you feel more comfortable back with the 12 pitching staff now?
I was comfortable with. I've never had 13. I don't. You know, we knew we weren't going to stay long with 13. I had a couple players that we didn't want to report to the media that that needed a little more rest, that had little minor ailments. We just didn't want to report it, so we kept with 13 pitchers for 4 or 5 days. But I didn't feel that we were going to stay that way long. If we need more than 12, we really got problems.
Obviously, the news of the day is around Sosa. You weren't here then?
No, I wasn't here then. It's a shame that baseball keeps going back to the past. I mean, look, baseball's doing a good job today of cleaning up all these issues. That's what we should be focusing on. I don't know how this news gets out. But in my case, I wasn't here, and I wish that we would just focus more on today and what the sport is doing, and as opposed to what's happened in the past. I think we've all learned from the past.
How much of a surprise is it with a guy of that stature?
I don't know. I wasn't here. I mean, I think the people that were here could answer to that a lot better than I. It's been a problem. Whether it's true or not true, I don't know.
Would you prefer to see him just release the list of the 103 players?
I've said that before. I would probably create a lot of havoc for a while, but it might be the best thing. I've said that before. But again, look, I don't make those decisions. I got enough problems managing the Chicago Cubs, so I let baseball handle this the way they want.
At this point, are you not surprised when you hear of a player?
Sir, I don't know. I really don't. I'm not a specialist in that area. I wasn't trained in that area. In the era that I played, it wasn't a problem. So I don't know that much about it. Maybe if managers had been trained a little more into these areas, I could answer better, but I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know a steroid from a reefer. I'm telling you the truth.
All right. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, with that, as we bring in Bruce Miles from the Daily Herald, that's it. The game has been called, and no makeup date set, so it sounds like we're not going to play a day-night doubleheader tomorrow at this point, and the weather took over today, unfortunately, Bruce.
You know what, Len, I think that the weather might be taking over all week, and maybe that's part of the reason they haven't announced a makeup date for this thing. One of these days, we're going to have summer in this town.
It's been the Cubs have now had, what, 3 or 4 games that they have had to make up. They've got a day-nighter against the Cardinals right before the break. They go to Atlanta coming up Monday. Houston has to be here an extra day later in the season, and then this one. So 4 postponements already.
Yeah, and what you worry about there is how it affects your pitching staff, if you're going to have to call up somebody from the minor leagues, whether you're going to have to give somebody a spot start out of the bullpen. Those aren't issues for now, but they will be someplace down the line.
Von Joshua now will make his Cubs debut tomorrow as the Cubs' new hitting coach. Bob and I, we were talking earlier. We wanted a chance to chat with Von, but he was already in the batting cage around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we saw him running out there. I think it was with Giovanni Soto earlier, and that was an interesting thing because, veteran guys with hitting coaches, the veterans do their own thing, but I think where Von might be able to have a big impact is with some of the guys he worked with in the minor leagues before. Giovanni Soto, Ryan Terrio, who swears by Von Joshua, with also paying respect to Gerald Perry, Micah Hoffpower, those kind of guys. So, yeah, Von's already at work.
The lineup tonight was going to include Reed Johnson against the left-hander John Danks. I don't think that's a big surprise considering Kosuke Fukudome has really struggled here lately. I did ask him today how many hitting coaches he had in Japan. He said 3 over about, 9-10 years in Japan. So this is his 5th hitting coach, and we'll see how it works now with Von Joshua. His hitting coach from Chunichi came in earlier this year as well. So the Cubs are trying to figure out how to keep him from that slide we saw last year.
Yeah, and the scary thing thing I think for the Cubs is it's happening at the same time as it did last year, and I think they would want to put an end to it right now. Look at some films, talk with Kosuke, and get him back to doing the things he did well in April and May both this year and last year, and maybe cut down on that kind of that helicopter swing that he does, because certainly if he's done it for 2 months, the potential's there for him to do it again well.
This team has pitched extremely well, and we were talking before during the break whether we think this team is going to get it together, and I think we both agree that there is certainly enough talent to do it. And because of all the veterans you talked about with the track records, the only option here for Lou Piniella and Jim Hendry is to let them work their way out of it.
Yeah, you mentioned the pitching. You know, the Cubs had a string of like 8 straight quality starts, and they went only 4-4 during that stretch. And I think that the bullpen is getting itself together. And Lou said, you know, we're going to put together a nice little bullpen here. And they've had stretches where they've done very well. But yeah, this is probably the group for a while that's going to have to get it done with veterans and with a rotation that I think is pretty good.
Don't worry, Bruce isn't leaving just yet. He'll sign on his way out. Fans think you're leaving, Bruce.
I'm hoping I'm leaving.
You've covered many of these 66 games, White Sox and Cubs, maybe all of them. And 33-33, the run differential, 1 run.
Yeah, it's been a great thing. You know, you can go back and forth on interleague play, but I think if it brings enjoyment to people, there's no harm in it. We saw the Twins fans having just a great time here over the weekend. I was there for the beginning of this. I can still remember Ray Durham crashing into Scott's service, the very first interleague game, other plays like that. And if it gets all these people going, you know, it's a lot of fun and no harm.
All right, last question, and I have to put you on the spot. Everybody's talking about it. I was asked about it on a radio station today. Sammy Sosa, I guess the New York Times reporting on its website that his name was on that list of just over 100 players testing positive. A-Rod as well for steroids. That was the big story earlier this year. Are you surprised? And I guess just your general reaction.
My general reaction is that I'm not totally shocked by this. I'm saddened by it, I think, as everybody is who covers baseball and who likes baseball. But you heard the innuendo, you saw the things, and, you know, without having proof, you know, how do you accuse somebody? But if this name has come out, I think it has to be taken very seriously. I think it's going to have a devastating effect on his legacy, Hall of Fame. Those are all things that we'll sort out as time goes by. But it's not a happy day at all.
And I would cap it by saying, every time it happens, I think a lot of people in the baseball world think it's going to be the last name to come out. I don't know when we'll see the end, but I don't think it's the last name.
No, and it's not for a while. And talking with players and ex-players, they'd like to have this over and done with. Get all the names out there. And what they say is it taints the players who are not guilty. It makes them come under this cloud of suspicion, too. So I think the sooner this is over, the better.
Always enjoy reading your stuff, Bruce. Thanks so much for the time. And I can't wait to read your non-game story tomorrow morning.
I got to put something together there. I appreciate you having me.
That's Bruce Miles from the Daily Herald. We'll take a break and have some more from Wrigley Field as Big Z plays some catch. He was supposed to start tonight. We assume he'll pitch tomorrow instead. We'll be right back.
That hits the spot. It's drinkability. Means Bud Light is good wherever you are.
If you're at a party, or playing golf, like those guys, or at the bar.
Draw another door. Don't say draw.
Never filling, always refreshing. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
7 aces.
Hi. I need to remove one of these thingies.
1/2-inch ratchet, 3/4 standard socket.
From one of these rascals.
3/4-inch deep well.
And I can't reach it.
12-inch extension.
Because this big old grizzly bear's in the way.
Universal joint.
My man.
The largest tool selection in America and the people who know them best. Get great savings on tools like this Craftsman 154-piece mechanics tool set. Sears, life well spent.
Now it's easy to sell your home fast with the No Commission Company. ForSaleByOwner.com.
We sold our home in 3 weeks.
I had no idea it could be that easy. It really was.
We've helped thousands of people save millions of dollars. We give you lawn signs and a step-by-step guide. We even have advisors on call to answer any questions. Visit ForSaleByOwner.com now at ForSaleByOwner.com. ForSaleByOwner.com. No commission, lots of help.
America has some amazing dives, and we're going to take off in the plane, check out a bunch of them. The places, the vibe, the the food. Join us, the crew of Skydives, as we fly into the heart of America to see and taste the country's most amazing food. If you have a favorite food joint, cool. Log in to WGNAmerica.com. Tell us about it.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV, your official summer baseball station. Brought to you by Bud Light. With just the right taste that never fills you up, the difference is drinkability. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. Comcast. Catch more games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV today. By Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world. Visit refresheverything.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Unfortunately, no baseball tonight, so this will be a rain-shortened two-game series between the White Sox and the Cubs. And, Bob, we have not heard the pitching matchups for the next two games of this series. We would assume Carlos Zambrano will go tomorrow. John Danks was scheduled tonight. But it'll be interesting to see if Ozzie goes with Jose Contreras on Thursday, considering how good he's been the last two times out.
It's very tempting for a manager to run a pitcher like Contreras out there whenever you possibly can, the way he's been throwing the ball recently. I would have to assume that Contreras is going to take that start, but we'll see what Ozzie does.
Everybody in this series, the players, they all treat this like, hey, it's the middle of the season. We have to focus on ourselves. We're not worried about the other team. This is about the fans and everything. But we feel it up here, and the players have to feel that playoff-like atmosphere on the field, right?
They all mention it after the fact. You know, leading up to the series, they try to downplay it a little bit because the reality is it's just another regular season game in the middle of the season. It happens to be against your crosstown rivals, but you know, for me, I think it might be kind of fun for the players and for the coaches and for the managers. You know, maybe not publicly saying it, but the Cubs especially are a team that anticipates going to the postseason. Now, they're going to have to play much better in the second half to get there. But if that's the case and you think you're a postseason baseball team, why not pick a series like this one and say, you know what? Let's approach this like it is the postseason. Let's really focus. Let's really concentrate. Let's grind on our fundamentals. Every pitch is important. Every base runner is important. And see what happens. I mean, you know, we've seen what's happened in the postseason for the Cubs the last 2 years. It hasn't been real pretty. Maybe if you took a series or two throughout the course of the season and said, we're going to approach this series like a postseason series. We're going to be prepared. We're going to go out there and do what we have to do to win games. Maybe they'd be better served when October rolls around.
So no baseball tonight, but tomorrow, 1 o'clock from Wrigley Field, the White Sox and the Cubs, the pitching matchups to be determined. We assume Carlos Zambrano will go for the Cubs, waiting on what the White Sox decide to do. So that's tomorrow at 1. We'll have Thursday's game. Bob and I will have the call on Thursday at 1 o'clock, the leadoff man, before Game 2 of this now rain-shortened two-game set. So that's going to wrap it up from Wrigley Field. Stay dry. We'll see you tomorrow from the ballpark. The White Sox and the Cubs rained out tonight.
If you like movies, then check out Movie Underground right here every Friday night.
It's a date.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know what I like to see?
You gotta see this.
What would you like to see? Something funny.
What is this, high school?
Seems like it. Everybody's having sex but me.
I'm just a regular guy. I want to see what everybody else wants to see.
Mama!
Well, wait. Go back. You mean want to watch this?
I like to see a television show about us.
Perfect.
I just sat there watching and watching and watching and watching and watching.